Understanding self-serving bias illuminates the human tendency to distort reality to favor oneself. It's a psychological shield, guarding our self-image by attributing successes to personal ability and failures to external factors. The psychology behind self-serving bias roots in the deep need to protect our self-esteem. This bias acts as a mental safeguard, ensuring our self-concept remains positive and intact against failures. Self-serving bias manifests in the way we credit ourselves for successes while blaming others for failures. This selective attribution helps maintain a positive self-view but skews personal accountability and objective reality. Viewing the world through rose-colored glasses typifies the effects of self-serving bias. It colors our perception, letting us see our actions and outcomes in an overly positive light, often at the expense of reality. The dual faces of self-serving bias reveal a complex picture. On one hand, it boosts confidence by highlighting personal achievements. On the other, it can impede personal growth by not acknowledging failures. Self-serving bias shapes our perception of achievements and failures by filtering our experiences through our desire to see ourselves positively. This bias often leads us to attribute successes to our own abilities and efforts while blaming external factors for failures. This skewed perception can significantly impact our self-esteem and motivation, sometimes encouraging us, while at other times discouraging honest self-reflection and growth. In the realm of personal development, self-serving bias plays a dual role. On one hand, it boosts our confidence by allowing us to take credit for our accomplishments. On the other, it can impede our growth by preventing us from learning from our mistakes. Recognizing and understanding this bias is crucial for anyone on a journey of self-improvement, as it can either serve as a stepping stone or a stumbling block. Breaking down the mechanisms of self-serving bias reveals its complex nature, functioning both as a cognitive bias and a defense mechanism. It serves to protect our self-esteem, but can also distort our reality, affecting decision-making and interpersonal relationships. Understanding these mechanisms is key to mitigating its more harmful effects and fostering a more balanced self-perception. The impact of self-serving bias on relationships is profound, often leading to miscommunications and misunderstandings. By attributing our successes to internal factors and failures to external ones, we may inadvertently dismiss the contributions and feelings of others. This can strain relationships, emphasizing the need for awareness and strategies to counteract this bias. Overcoming self-serving bias requires strategies for a more balanced self-perception. Techniques such as seeking feedback, practicing humility, and engaging in reflective practices can help individuals recognize and adjust for this bias. By doing so, we can foster healthier relationships, personal growth, and a more accurate understanding of our abilities and limitations. Self-serving bias in the workplace often leads professionals to attribute successes to their own efforts while blaming external factors for failures. This mindset can hinder personal growth and team collaboration, creating an environment where accountability is scarce and personal development is stunted. Navigating success and failure professionally requires a balanced perspective. By acknowledging our role in both outcomes, we foster a culture of learning and improvement. It encourages a more supportive, growth-oriented workplace where challenges are seen as opportunities. The influence of self-serving bias on educational outcomes and student mindsets is profound. Students who attribute good grades to their intelligence and bad grades to external factors may struggle to identify areas for improvement, potentially impacting their long-term academic growth. Self-serving bias in sports affects how athletes interpret their performance. Those who understand the role of both skill and external factors in wins and losses are better equipped to improve and handle setbacks constructively. The role of culture in shaping self-serving bias offers a fascinating lens through which to view this phenomenon. Different cultures emphasize individual achievement or community success, significantly influencing how people perceive their successes and failures. The science behind self-serving bias reveals a complex interplay of neurological and psychological factors. Our brains are wired to protect our self-esteem, often leading us to attribute successes to internal factors and failures to external ones. This understanding is crucial for developing strategies to mitigate the bias and foster a more balanced self-perception. In leadership roles, self-serving bias can blur the line between confidence and delusion. Leaders may credit themselves for team successes while blaming external factors for failures, potentially harming team morale and hindering objective decision-making. Recognizing and addressing this bias is key to effective leadership. During times of crisis, the tendency to find scapegoats rather than taking responsibility is intensified by self-serving bias. This behavior can prevent individuals and organizations from learning from their mistakes, perpetuating a cycle of blame and missed opportunities for growth. Mitigating self-serving bias involves a conscious effort to seek feedback and engage in self-reflection. By acknowledging our biases and challenging our perceptions, we can develop a more accurate understanding of our abilities and limitations, leading to personal and professional growth. Looking to the future, ongoing research into self-serving bias promises to uncover new applications and strategies for overcoming it. As our understanding deepens, we can anticipate more effective interventions that promote healthier self-perceptions and more constructive behaviors across various domains of life.